Building infrastructure for the future is my priority, President Buhari assures Nigerians.
Which country can advance without infrastructure, road, rail and power?
Ministers present selves for assessment as Buhari administration counts down to 7 years in office.
President Muhammadu Buhari is God sent.
Plus, progressive governors meet President Buhari back Mai Mala Buni-led committee on postponement of convention.
The progressive governors are united on the convention, on the future of the party, on our commitment to ensure that the People's Party doesn't come back to power.
Good evening. This is NTA Network News, and we're reaching you live from Abuja. I'm Ian Ray John. Suleiman Rigacheku is in Kaduna. Thank you for joining us. And just before we begin, it's good to know that you can follow this news broadcast live on our website, nta.nj/live, and on our YouTube channel, NTA News Online. Twitter is at NTA News Now. You can also visit our Facebook page at NTA Network News, and Instagram is NTA Network for updates. Politics is on the front burner tonight as the Progressives Governors Forum says its members are not only united but remain focused in their genuine commitment towards ensuring that the governing APC waxes stronger in the build-up to the next general elections and achieves a very successful outcome. The chairman of the forum and governor of Kebbi State, Abubakar Atiku Bagudu, stated this while briefing journalists after leading the APC governors to a meeting with President Buhari.
The meeting between President Muhammadu Buhari and members of the Progressives Governors Forum is coming barely 24 hours after the party's CECPC announced March 26th as new date for the National Convention of the APC. The governors are here to not only assure the president of their unanimous support for the position taken by the Mai Mala Buni-led committee, but also other measures aimed at ensuring a very successful exercise in the best interest of the governing party.
The 22 governors of the APC are united. We are in total support of Mr. President. We are appreciative of his leadership. We commend him for his leadership. We are appreciative of the sacrifice of the National Caretaker and Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee for the tremendous work that they have done. Despite all the challenges, our party has emerged stronger, greater, with more members by the day.
Let nobody leave this room with any doubt that the progressive governors are united on the convention, on the future of the party, on our commitment to ensure that the People's Party doesn't come back to power.
The APC governors also used the opportunity of their engagement with the president to show appreciation for his leadership and genuine commitment to Nigeria. They are particularly elated over the 3.4% GDP growth recorded by the country for the year 2021, which they say surpassed both domestic and international estimates.
We also noted and thanked him for the major transformational projects that are taking place in all the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. These are infrastructure projects and inclusiveness programs. We also appreciated him for visiting a number of states where, inspired by his leadership, governors of the APC are doing their best to promote the ideals of our party. And not surprisingly, our party has continued to endear itself to Nigerians.
And what was the president's response to the governor's presentation?
Mr. President expressed his pleasure at the performance of the party and the unity of the governors in supporting the party. He said, we must continue to do all that is possible to ensure that APC continue to deliver progress and compete equitably and produce leaders that our party and Nigerians will be proud of.
19 APC governors, as well as the Deputy Governor of Anambra State, were present at a meeting with the President. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the All Progressives Congress Governors Forum says it will work with relevant stakeholders within the party to ensure that they transparently deliver national executive that will earn the confidence of the party faithful. This was during the forum's meeting in Abuja. Salihu Guanara reports.
This is the second meeting of the APC governors in the year 2022. Their engagement was behind closed doors. The forum's chairman and governor of Kebbi State, Abubakar Atiku Bagudu, addressed the media at the end of the closed-door engagement.
We have discussed and reviewed the elections that took place in the FCT, the Oshun primaries, the court judgment that resolved the Kano primaries issue. We discussed a meeting we are going to have with Mr. President, further discuss on the party.
The forum also reacted to the timetable and schedule of activities by the party's CECPC ahead of its national convention.
Until we finish the meeting with Mr. President, we rather not comment on any timetabling and any logistic.
The APC governors have acknowledged the role of other stakeholders of the party and pledged to work in unity to make the APC more prosperous in the political scene. In Abuja, Saliu Guanara, NTA News.
Also, President Muhammadu Buhari this Tuesday granted audience to his Ghanaian counterpart, Nana Akufo-Addo. President Akufo-Addo is the chairman of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS. President Buhari and the Ghanaian leader held talks behind closed doors that lasted about 1 hour but details of their discussions were not made public. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu reports that the high-level engagement might not be unconnected with efforts at finding lasting solutions to the recent wave of unconstitutional changes of government in the sub-region. The ECOWAS leaders had strongly condemned the military coups in Guinea, Mali and Burkina Faso, describing them as inimical to peace, stability and development. President Muhammadu Buhari says his administration's genuine commitment to the provision of critical infrastructure on sustainable basis is not only deliberate but most desirable towards achieving a prosperous future for the country. The president stated this while receiving in audience Team Kaduna on a thank you visit. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu has the details.
Team Kaduna, comprising the National and State Assembly members, ministers, traditional rulers, and senior officials of the state government, was led to the State House by Deputy Governor Hadiza Sabuwa Balarabe. The high-powered delegation is here to express formal appreciation to President Muhammadu Buhari for visiting the state last month and inaugurating various projects under the state's urban renewal program across the 3 major cities of Kaduna, Kafanchan, and Zaria. While assuring the president that the El Rufai administration will complete its tenure as strongly as it started, Deputy Governor Hadiza Balarabe announced that several other projects at various stages of completion will be ready for inauguration in May this year.
We therefore wish to humbly invite Mr. President to pay another working visit to Kaduna State in May to commission the Raba to the Western Bypass and onto the Rigasa train station route, the Kabala Costain to Barnaha route, and the Shehu Laminu to Ramat route in Ungwerimi, amongst others. Some investment projects undertaken by our private sector partners will also be presented for commissioning, including the Dangote Peugeot Vehicle Assembly Plant, Arma Medicals and Manufacturing Limited, and the African Natural Resources Iron Mining and Steel Plant.
The Dangote Peugeot in particular, which has Kaduna and Kebbi state governments as minority but committed stakeholders, is designed to be the largest vehicle assembly plant in Nigeria that will produce trucks, SUVs, saloon cars, trailers, and pickup vans along Kaduna-Abuja road.
We'll be honored to receive you again in the state to commission these legacy projects, which are by extension the legacy of your administration. All the accomplishments wouldn't have been possible without the support we always receive from the center, from Mr. President and his team.
I have already rang the governor and thanked him for the impression he created of performance.
President Muhammadu Buhari had during the visit applauded the El Rufai administration for its consistent efforts at developing Kaduna, seeking progress on many fronts and confronting challenges boldly. He re-echoed this to the Team Kaduna delegation.
Deputy Governor, please pass my gratitude to His Excellency, the Governor, for doing so well, virtually in the city senatorial district of Kaduna State. I have been living in Kaduna since I removed my uniform, but now I need a map and a compass to go around Kaduna.
The president used the opportunity to give reasons for his administration's sincere focus on addressing the critical infrastructure deficit inherited on coming to power in 2015.
I was constrained to go public several times to appeal to Nigerians to appreciate the efforts of this administration, because between Lagos and Ibadan, by now, if we hadn't done what we have done, people would have to be walking, because the rail wasn't there, the road was not there, and there was so much insecurity. Which country can advance without infrastructure, road, rail, and power? The job is not going as fast as we wanted, but it will be done. It's being done.
President Buhari formally received a letter of invitation to revisit Kaduna in May this year for the inauguration of more urban renewal projects. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Similarly, achievements of the federal government in infrastructure development in the country was brought to the fore at a town hall meeting for Nigerians to appreciate how the present administration under President Muhammadu Buhari has fared. Anthony Forson brings us details.
This town hall meeting is the 21st in a series of town hall meetings, which was kickstarted in 2016. This edition focuses on the massive infrastructure development of the present administration. Setting the stage is the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning. She began with how funds are sourced and used, pointing at revenue generated and loans sourced locally and foreign. She disclosed that what the federal government raises and what it borrows are judiciously used.
Some of the key infrastructures that have been funded by external loans include the Zungeru hydropower plant project, which was a loan of $984 million, the Lagos-Ibadan Railway project at $1.26 billion, the upgrading and rehabilitation of the Kefi-Akwanga Lafia Road project at $460 million, the supply of rolling stock and depot equipment for the Abuja Light Rail project phase 1, $164 million, the NICTI project, this is an infrastructure, ICT infrastructure backbone, the Galaxy backbone, in the sum of $328 million. We have also the 4 airport terminal expansion projects, phase 2, in the sum of $208.91 million, ancillary works for the same 4 airports, in the sum of $183.62 million. These are all ongoing projects.
Comparing budgetary allocation for works as at 2015 December, which stood at a paltry 19.8 billion naira, same sector had over 300 billion naira budgetary allocation for the year 2021. And for 2022, over 530 billion naira has been budgeted. For works and housing, the minister in his presentation told the path of testimonials where Nigerians across the country acknowledged the great work done by this administration.
These are the people directly impacted by the road. A driver, Anor Muhammad, quote, "This is my regular route. I frequently ply this Dutse-Maiduguri road. 8 years ago, this road was a single lane and it was an accident-prone road. But since the completion of the dualization, accidents have been reduced to the barest minimum. President Muhammadu Buhari is God sent." End of quote. So the Executive Director of National Institute for Nigerian Languages in Abia State, Professor Obiajulu Elumejulu, this is what he said. This intervention is unprecedented. It has indeed raised the profile of our institute and confirmed to the naysayers that we are also a federal government-owned tertiary institution, end of quote.
Most delighting, he noted, is the second Niger bridge, the Boni Bodo Bridge, Abuja Kaduna Zaria Kano Expressway, and that of Lagos to Ibadan. For the Minister of State for Power, it couldn't have been this good if not for the present administration under President Muhammadu Buhari.
Mambila has been on since 1982, you recall. Mambila has been on since 82, but it's going to now. So also is the IPP project, which Siemens is running. The Siemens is a German government-led organization which has partnered with us to provide electricity in sufficient quantity to improve our services to the Nigerian people. That also is through the courtesy of the approval of Mr. President. If he didn't approve that, it wouldn't go through.
In all of these submissions, convener of the Town Hall Meeting Series and Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, was emphatic about the huge investment in infrastructure, saying it is worth it.
I'm sure you all agree with me that what we hear is that this government is borrowing. I think today you've heard not only what the government is doing with borrowing, but also the impact of the borrowing on our people. In other words, we borrow to provide roads, to provide power, to provide bridges, to provide airports, provide water and transportation. And of course, when we do that, people are happier, the economy grows, and more people are employed.
The next Town Hall Meeting Series is scheduled for the 24th of March. In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
Time for a first break. Please stay. Thank you for staying. And just a quick reminder that you can follow this news broadcast live on our website, nta.ng/live, on our YouTube channel, NTA News Online. Twitter is at NTA News Now. You can also visit our Facebook page, NTA Network News, and Instagram, NTA Network, for updates. And still on developmental projects, the concept of the Kano station of Kano-Kaduna rail line under construction is to be expanded in order to accommodate projected millions of passengers. Minister of Transportation, Chubike Rotimi Amechi, made this known when he received the Kano State Governor, Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, in Abuja. Oyinaya Kalu Oka reports.
The federal government is executing 3 major projects in Kano State: the Kano-Maradi rail line, the Kano-Kaduna rail line, and the Kano inland dry ports. Receiving the governor, Minister of Transportation Chibike Rotimi Amechi said Kano State is expected to house the biggest rail station in the country. He asked for more land in order to expand the Kano station.
Kano State government to give us land where we will build the biggest station in Nigeria. It is the biggest station because we are combining 2 rail lines. The first one is the Kano-Maradi, which will empty in Kano, and then the second one is the Kano-Kaduna, which will also empty in Kano. And don't forget that the station we are building in Kano, we are at the end of the day, the station that will take passengers from Lagos to Kano.
For the inland dry port, which is almost completed, the state governor, Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, disclosed that the state has contributed about 2.5 billion naira to ensure its speedy completion and commercialization.
By providing access road to the premises and providing also other social amenities, just to contribute our own quota. Because that project was conceived about 20 years ago, but it never materialized until during our time.
The 3 projects, when completed, are expected to project economic development and job creation in Kano and Nigeria as a whole. Oyinaya Kalu Oka, NTA News.
Meanwhile, as work on the Kano-Kaduna Standard Rail project progresses, that of the Kano Inland Dry Port is nearing completion. Abdullahi Mustafa, who visited the two sites, reports that the inland dry port is expected to commence operation in March this year.
Since the flag off in July 2021 by President Muhammadu Buhari, the Kano-Kaduna Standard Gauge Rail Line project took off with the hope of completing the work by the end of this year. Already, nearly one-third of the 203-kilometer rail line has been covered along phases 1 and 6. According to the contractor, work on the 7th and 8th will take off as soon as right-of-way issues are addressed.
That is where we marked for the railway to keep up from Team 8, that is inside town.
Also, Kano State Government is complementing the federal government's move to actualize the Dala Inland Dry Port with the construction of access road, perimeter fencing, water and electricity supply. During a visit to the site, Sultan of Sokoto, Muhammad Abubakar III, was informed that the Inland Dry Port will commence operation in March this year.
All those who are responsible for ensuring that any cargo that comes into Nigeria is legitimate, is legally allowed to come in, is not hazardous, and also the correct duty payments are made on it, and other processes are done, and the actual cargo owners collect them.
Work has been completed on this tagging area, while finishing touches are being made on internal roads and administration building. Marshalling yard and a primary school for the host community are also at advanced stages of completion. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
In other news, following the tough stance by leaders of the Economic Community of West African States against coups in the sub-region, the cooperation of the international community, including other global, regional bodies and financial institutions, will concretize the efforts against unconstitutional changes of government and deter coup plotters. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo stated this when he received the United Kingdom's Minister for Africa, Vicky Ford, who was accompanied by British High Commissioner to Nigeria, Katrina Liang. The Vice President said there is a lot of attention being paid to coup d'etat going on, especially in the West African sub-region, stressing that it is important that a closer look has to be taken at how to prevent coups and adventurers of various kinds who want to take over governments by force. The Vice President restated Nigeria's commitment to the post-COP26 agenda while calling on the wealthier countries in the international community to fulfill their obligation. He commended the United Kingdom's acknowledgement of Nigeria's economic sustainability plan, among other efforts to ensure growth in the economy and foster prosperity among the people. Also, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo received a delegation from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, led by its global leader, Elder Todd Christopherson, who is based in the United States of America. Welcoming the delegation of the global Christian denomination, Vice President Osinbajo urged faith-based organizations to speak more for the unity of the country and peaceful coexistence among Nigerians. The Vice President said he appreciates the social service that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is doing in the area of clean water, immunization, and several other things, stating that for faith-based organizations, it is an article of faith that the Church must contribute to the development of society. On the spot, Elder Christopherson, who was accompanied by church leaders from within and outside Nigeria, commended the efforts of the Vice President in fostering unity and peaceful coexistence among Nigerians and noted that the Church in Nigeria would, in the coming years, work to contribute to the growth and development aside preaching unity among citizens. And now heading to the National Assembly, the Senate has expressed concern over what is called astronomical increase in airfare in Nigeria, urging the federal government to do more on roads rehabilitation and construction. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nkwo reports that the decision followed adoption of a motion moved as a matter of urgent national importance at Tuesday's plenary.
The announcement on the timetable for the consideration of the ongoing constitution amendment led the day's business.
Tomorrow, the Senate President will formally announce that the report of the Constitutional Review Committee will be laid on Wednesday tomorrow, and thereafter we will take our votes on March 1st, which will be Tuesday.
A motion of urgent public importance was moved by Senator Gashon Bassi, drawing the attention of the Senate to what he described as astronomical increase in airfare caused by increased demand for air transport, praying that a state of emergency be declared on Nigerian roads.
Call on the federal government to immediately make good its indebtedness to FEMA in order to enable the agency carry out its primary responsibility of rehabilitating federal roads.
Senate passed the Nigerian Tea and Coffee Development Council Establishment Bill. The bill that seeks to establish the National Innovation Agency, sponsored by Senator Uche Ekwunife, passed second reading. It seeks to provide a legal framework for the facilitation of development, promotion, coordination, and regulation of research outputs in Nigeria. While the Federal Institute of Fisheries and Aquatic Studies Cotton Karfe Kogi State Establishment Bill by Senator Smart Adeyemi also passed second reading.
The framework of this bill is to bring to life a body that shall be federal government agency for coordinating innovation activities as well as grow and support innovation ecosystem and entrepreneurship in Nigeria.
These salmon fish are imported with our hard-earned currency to Nigeria, which Nigerians are patronizing. These are the things that can be produced when the college like this is in place.
I feel that it is going to enhance the foreign exchange earnings of Nigeria. It is going to create a lot of opportunities in terms of diversification of the economy, and it is going to create a lot of job opportunities.
Senate has confirmed the nomination of 5 persons for appointment as executive directors of the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
Now turning our attention to education. In the interest of students and development of the education sector, the House of Representatives has urged the relevant authorities to take necessary steps to bring to an end the ongoing strike by Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU. National Assembly correspondent Lamiade reports that the issue was among considerations during Tuesday's plenary.
When Representative Doze Nwankwo raised the ongoing warning strike by ASU, lawmakers were in agreement that it is a sad development in Nigeria's tertiary education and urged quick resolution of pending issues.
The Minister of Labour and Employment and ASU that adhere to the clauses and provisions of the previous Memorandum of Understanding and Memorandum of Action in the interest of Nigerian students.
The need to improve security in parts of the country was another point of rally by lawmakers when Tanko Sununu from Kebbi State and Chris Azubogu from Anambra State highlighted situations in those areas.
The bandits freely operated for 2 consecutive days unhindered. They blocked the major highway passing through Koko and Yawuri for hours.
Non-state actors, mostly criminals, have taken over part of Anambra State and have been killing innocent citizens.
In Southeast, nobody dares to move out on a Monday. You don't. How many people have been killed in Zamfara? How many have been killed in Sokoto? How many have been killed in Kebbi and Katsina and other states?
Other considerations during plenary include the first reading of 12 bills, among them a bill to establish National Rice Production Processing and Research Institute in Kebbi and a bill seeking the establishment of Federal Medical Center Bali in Taraba State, sponsored by Mubarak Abdul Salam. 7 bills were read the 3rd time and passed, including the bill from Alfonso Comsol for the establishment of Federal Polytechnic Shandam Plateau State, 3 bills seeking the establishment of Federal College of Health Technology Ningi, Federal University of Agriculture VUM, and National Agency for Sugarcane Production in Makarfi passed second reading. House Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila announced that voting on constitution amendment bills will hold next week.
Most of them require 2/3 for passage, and some actually require even more than 2/3. So we'll need to have everybody here in their numbers.
More than 55 bills are seeking amendments to some sections of the Constitution, among them a bill to grant autonomy to local governments. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
Out of the Green Chamber, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has denied fake press release and circulation dated 18th February 2022 regarding travel advisory to Belarus, Poland, Slovakia, Hungary, Romania and Moldova. In a statement, the spokesperson of the ministry, Francisca Omayuli, said the document with forged reference number and signature did not emanate from the ministry. The ministry strongly condemns this mischievous act and urges the public to disregard the content of the fake press release. Furthermore, the document in circulation is not a true reflection of the authorized template of the ministry. The ministry's authorized press statements are always issued through official communication channels with the media and on the ministry's social media platforms. And in the courtroom, a federal high court sitting in Abuja and presided over by Justice Zainab Dimka Abubakar has granted an application by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, to detain for 2 weeks suspended Deputy Commissioner of Police, Abba Kyari, and 6 others under investigation for their involvement in a 25 kilograms cocaine deal. The court gave the order following an application by the Anti-Narcotic Agency pending the conclusion of investigations. Meanwhile, the Federal High Court sitting in Jos, Plateau State has convicted and sentenced former Minister of Water Resources, Sarah Ochekwe, and 2 others to 6 years imprisonment each. They were prosecuted by the EFCC on 3-count charge bordering on conspiracy and money laundering and were convicted on the first 2 counts and discharged on the 3rd count. A statement by the head of media and publicity of the commission, Wilson Woodering of the EFCC, says they allegedly received the sum of 450 million naira from former Minister of Petroleum Resources, Desiani Alison Madueke, to influence the outcome of the 2015 presidential election. And away from the courtroom, the Defense Headquarters is upscaling measures to stem rising cases of interagency rivalry among security agencies during joint internal operations. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Laki Rabo, stated this at the commencement of a workshop on interagency cooperation in Abuja. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa brings us details.
Nigeria is facing internal security threats in different parts of the country. In view of the dynamics of emerging security challenges, the military and other security agencies are fighting criminality across the country. This workshop, organized by the Defense Headquarters, is aimed at identifying areas of overlapping functions among the services and security agencies and to improve intelligence sharing devoid of unhealthy competition.
The conduct of a capacity building and training workshop involving the nation's security stakeholders will be effective in realigning competence, delineate lines of authority, communication, lead agency concept, and support in line with global best practices.
The workshop is critical in our resolve to ensure that there are shared responsibilities and greater collaborations, which is mutually beneficial in our current and future operations.
The program holding at the Nigerian Army Resource Center, Abuja, is focusing on strengthening interagency cooperation for sustainable national security. Ismail Musa, NTA News.
We'll pause here in Abuja and let Suleiman feed us from Kaduna. Suleiman, it's over to you.
Thank you, Nyeri, and welcome to Kaduna. Beggars and traders are back again at traffic light controlled locations across Kaduna metropolis, prompting concern by stakeholders on security implication and related issues. Haruna Muhammad reports.
Taking a drive around the metropolis, particularly to areas where government achieved infrastructural renewal, street beggars and traders are back again. At traffic light junctions, such people dangerously distract attention of vehicle owners who are expected to be alert behind the wheels. In some of the places, beggars and traders can be seen from morning into evening hours. Stakeholders are concerned over the resurgence of the phenomenon.
Government should do something about that.
You have to hone, delay, in fact, hone before they can even try to move.
Most of the children they took into these activities are supposed to be in the schools.
Findings show Kaduna State government is maintaining its stand on ban of street begging.
First of all, Islamically, it's wrong for somebody to be begging.
They go in the middle of road while traffic light has allowed for passage of
vehicles, and you find beggars, some standing, some on wheelchairs, others on even rollers, blocking the road for the vehicles to pass.
For now, stakeholders say they look forward to more enforcement of initiatives to free the elderly, youth and children on disturbing culture of the streets. In Kaduna, Haruna Mohammed, NTA News.
Federal government is to establish procurement centers in 14 northern states for improved wheat seedlings to enable wheat farmers access and early planting. This is part of the Central Bank Anchor Borrowers program to support wheat production. Mohammed Ali reports that under the arrangement, about 150 farmers are expected to benefit from the package for this year's round farming season.
Spent $6 billion, an equivalent to 2.2 trillion naira, on importation of about 5.6 million metric tons of wheat annually to meet local demands due to less production capacity and acute shortage of technology. These and many other factors prompted the federal government under the Anchor Borrowers Program and Flour Milling Association of Nigeria lay down new techniques to improve wheat production, especially in northern states.
What we expect from farmers is massive adoption of this technology, because when you bring something new, there will always be those who will doubt whether it will work or it will not work. You will have some early adopters who have tried before, who will take it wholeheartedly, but majority will wait on the sidelines to just be sure that it will work.
The association so far as at now have planted over 63,000 hectares in Nigeria for this season.
Stakeholders believe that with the new technology put in place, farmers will increase in yield and Nigeria will be self-sufficient in wheat production. Muhammad Ali, NTA News.
More reports ahead with Inyere in Abuja, but after the break.
Glad to have you back. Let's now do business with Benny Adams.
Thank you, Inyere, and welcome to Business. The Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, says mobilization of domestic savings for capital formation and investment is critical to harnessing growth potential of the Nigerian economy. Bosede Abel reports that the federal government is working with other stakeholders towards achieving the medium-term National Development Plan 2021 to 2025, which recognizes the role of a deep financial market in supporting high and sustainable economic growth.
My team and I will review the report and work with the Securities and Exchange Commission and other stakeholders to ensure we fully realize the potential benefits of the scheme for our country.
This will no doubt increase investors' confidence, improve the depth and breadth of the market in terms of product offerings, engender market integrity, and contribute to the country's economic growth.
The growth of any economy depends on the level of capital accumulation. Capital accumulation, in turn, depends primarily on savings and investment.
And still on the economy, the Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria, SMEDAN, has signed 3 agreements with a United Arab Emirates company for the development of MSMEs through crowdfunding. The MOU would see SMEDAN providing entrepreneurship training and capacity building for MSMEs, while the company will provide cashless services and crowdfunding for MSMEs in the country.
As part of our agreement. The second part of agreement is providing accessibility to insurances, and the third part of our agreement is providing an alternative way of financing other than the traditional financing from the banks, that is crowdfunding.
These are initiatives that will enhance the competitiveness of our MSMEs. The issue of insurance is very important.
And on the capital markets, investors gained 6.99 billion naira as the all-share index inched up marginally by 0.03%, maintains positive posture as equities markets closed at 47,246 points. Market capitalization appreciated 25.4 trillion naira from 25.3 trillion naira. in the previous session. 421.8 million shares valued at 5.1 billion naira were traded in 5,992 deals. Unity Capital, Transcap and Zenith Bank led the activity chart, just as Zenith Bank and Unity Capital topped the market value list. That is business news. Sports is next, but after this commercial, do stay.
Now time for sports update with Olumide Eguntola.
The first round of the National Beach Soccer League, tagged Kwara 2022, begins Tuesday in Ilorin with the arrival of teams, players and officials that will feature in the 3-day soccer fiesta. NTA Sports gathered that arrangements have been concluded for each free championship built for the Kwara State Stadium Complex Ilorin. 10 clubs and over 100 players and officials across the country will converge on Ilorin for the league. In the Nigerian Professional Football League, actions continue on Wednesday with the return of round 14 matches. Gombe United is up against Plateau United, and Sunshine Stars welcome Wiki Tourist of Bauchi. From the English Premier League, midweek fixtures indicate that Watford will trade tackles with Crystal Palace as Liverpool lock arms with Leeds United. In the UEFA Champions League, round of 16 actions return Tuesday and Wednesday. On Tuesday, it will be Chelsea versus Lille Football Club as Villarreal takes on Juventus. On Wednesday, it will be Atletico Madrid against Manchester United, while Benfica takes on Ajax. In karate, Team Delta emerged winner of a 4-day strata-based National Open Karate Championship in Port Harcourt. Team Delta defeated other contenders from 19 states with a total of 10 medals, comprising 4 gold, 1 silver, and 5 bronze medals.
I feel very excited. I never expected this. Right from the beginning, I was very tensed. I didn't know I would go this far. So I'm so glad and excited getting the gold in this event.
As long as he focuses on the youths and keeping them out of social vices, I'm good with it. Sports is something which at least keeps us active upstairs.
Team Anambra is second with 3 gold and 2 bronze medals, while Team FCT is third with 15 medals with 2 gold, 5 silver and 8 bronze medals. With sports update, Olumide Eguntola, NTA News.
The federal government has expressed deep shock over the death of Kenyan top envoy in Nigeria, Ambassador Wilfred Makej. Kenya's High Commissioner to Nigeria, accredited to 12 other countries in Central and Western Africa. Minister of Foreign Affairs Geoffrey Onyama said the death of Ambassador Makej at a hospital in Abuja created a gap in view of the expertise and dedication of the deceased to his diplomatic duties.
Totally unexpected and a big shock and a real tragedy for us. I had met him on a number of occasions, and he was a wonderful man and a wonderful diplomat, and represented his country excellently here, and did a lot to promote and strengthen relations between Nigeria and Kenya. And so it's a big loss for Nigeria. It's a big loss for Kenya.
Ambassador Makej was appointed High Commissioner to Nigeria by President Uhuru Kenyatta in January 2018. President Muhammadu Buhari joins family and friends of Babatunde Ogunaike, a professor of more than 25 years and Dean of Engineering at Delaware University, in mourning the departure of the scholar and administrator. President Buhari notes that Ogunaike, who contributed significantly to the lines of the national anthem, showed his patriotism and dedication to the well-being of the nation and the living words that daily reinforce the faith and spirit of Nigerians. As a scholar and administrator, the president affirms that the long hours of research spanning into years enhanced knowledge and understanding, as well as prepared generations for greater works. President Buhari praised that the Almighty God will receive the soul of Professor Ogunaike and comfort his family. Also, the death has been announced of Mrs. Theresa Bai, a retired nurse, frontline politician, community and religious leader in Benue State. She was aged 75. Late Theresa Bai was the Benue State Deputy Chairman of the defunct National Republican Convention, NRC, between 1992 and 1993, and was also Chairman of Makurdi Local Government in Benue State between 1994 and 1995. She was a devout Catholic and a Lady of the Night of St. Mulumba. A statement by Dr. Damian Bai on behalf of the family indicates that late Mrs. Theresa Bai will be buried in her hometown Bai village, Tumbo Umbaku, Makurdi Local Government on Friday, 25th February 2022, after a funeral mass at St. Augustine Kwasi Parish, Adaka, at 10 o'clock in the morning. She's survived by 7 children, amongst whom is Dr. Damian Bai, Director, Medical Services, NTA Headquarters, Abuja, and 20 grandchildren. And that concludes NTA Network News tonight. Many thanks for watching, and please remember that the fight against rape and rapists is still on. Do your part. I'm Yen Ray John. Have a good night.